Hi, my name is Regina Honey, and I'm very excited to be virtually joining you for the Reach for Change hack. It's very fitting that the theme is on digital innovation and social good. So I'm going to give a little 10-minute presentation on three very important things. So to start off with, I'll tell you a little bit about who I am. So I run a tech social enterprise called Shunku Solutions in Accra, Ghana, and I am a Reach for change leader. So the first thing that I would like to discuss is how do you create a movement and how do you ensure that you get the right stakeholders to help you on your journey towards social change, because it literally takes a village. So for us at Shunku Solutions and Shunku Foundation, we thought that it would be very important to ensure that we engage with community leaders such that we place ownership in different people's hands. So it's not just about us trying to deliver social change, but it's about making sure that everybody plays a part. Now there are several moving parts that make everything come together. So for example, Tech Needs Girls, we teach girls from 6 to 18 how to code and create technology. What we did is we engaged with community leaders in the community who work with different girls. The community leaders have already built trust with the parents, but we also had to use local media to reach out to the parents to ensure that they understand the value of technology and why their girls should learn to code. After that, we made sure that we also highlighted the importance of technology and showed how far the girls have come. So in the form of an open house, it was a way to show parents and guardians and everybody that yes, girls can code and they can build amazing things. After that is done, we also make sure that we engage with an online community as we've moved off from offline to online. And with this online community, through social media and through the use of technology, we're able to spread our message and got more people to help us and support us to do what it is that we're doing. So I always say Tech Needs Girls is a movement, and it starts not just from me, but it starts from everybody who plays a part to ensure that we're not only teaching girls to code, but to be able to sort of be change leaders and to be able to catapult them into success. And we're doing this by ensuring that everybody comes on board and plays their part. We have over 200 mentors and volunteers who give their time and their skills to train these girls, and it's been a great journey. But it's important that as a social change leader, you think about how is it that I can sort of share my vision and get other people to come on board, because if you try and do everything by yourself, you definitely will not be able to create a sustainable impact. So creating a movement is simple, and technology allows you to amplify your voice. So it allows you to reach to people far and near to be able to make sure that they can also contribute to the success of the social change project you're working on. Now, the second thing I would like to discuss is the latest trends in social entrepreneurship space. When I started in 2012, I had no idea what social entrepreneurship was. All I knew was that I didn't like the traditional NGO model where individuals relied solely on donor funding. So I wanted to make sure that I had a self-sustainability model within my entire model. So a way that I could generate income to ensure that no matter what, the projects would keep running. And fast forward 4 years now, we're seeing a lot more social entrepreneurs, especially in Ghana. A lot more young people sort of thinking, wow, okay, I can also be a change maker, and these are some of the things that I can do. One of the things that's happening that's very interesting is, young people are having these small sort of sessions or small things that they're doing around the community to bring change. And what is needed is a way to give them sort of advice, incubation, to help them sort of hone their ideas and create a more sustainable model. And that's how Reach for Change has been a great sort of advocator or incubator to help change leaders or young people who have great ideas on how to do social change, but to do it better. So we're seeing a lot more young people considering social entrepreneurship as an option, where before it was more like solely focused on for-profit, and NGO work was just something that you kind of waited for international organizations to come and help out to do. the other trend that we're seeing in the social entrepreneurship space is actually the use of technology. So people are using social media to create awareness of the work that they are doing and to get the support that they need. So you'll have every other week a new foundation starting up and people using social media to sort of get people to come together. And there's one interesting example that I'd like to share is this up and coming social enterprise that organized a Kenkey party. And Kenkey is one of the traditional meals we have in Ghana, and got people to come and buy Kenkey for as much as they like. And the proceeds went into fundraising. And it was really great because it was a way to network, to have fun, to have good food, and it was all going towards a great cause. And they ran a really great campaign online to get people to come and get people excited. And as things were going on, you can either follow the hashtag or follow tweets or follow Instagram for pictures. So this is one way that young and upcoming social entrepreneurs are using technology to sort of get more support for what they're doing and to do more within the communities. Now, the last thing that I'd like to talk about is how do you ensure that you sustain what you're doing? Okay, so we've talked about creating a movement, we've talked about some of the latest trends and how lots of young people are getting involved in using technology to do that. But the most important thing is how do you sustain what you're doing? How do you ensure that you keep doing it and you keep growing and scaling your impact? But the most important thing is you are making an impact. So it's easy without really measuring what you're doing to assume that, oh, you're bringing change because of immediate feedback. But how are you going to ensure that that change is long lasting? Now, one of the things that we do at TechNeeds Girls or at the Sonko Foundation is we take measurement metrics very seriously. So we measure and track the impact of the work that we're doing. So from when a girl walks into our program until the duration that she will be in the program, we track different metrics. We conduct surveys to get feedback from the parents, from the teachers to see if there's been any change. Every girl has a project that they are supposed to complete, and we have some girls who've actually gone on to complete projects and start foundations and start different projects. And we make sure that we are constantly getting feedback because it's an evolving process. As we're growing, we get different feedback. So for an example is, when we started, we had all our girls sitting in one class, but then we realized that the age range was very wide, so 6 to 18. So we had to break our curriculum into 6 to 10 and 11 to 18. And we also have to ensure that as we are tracking the data, we're able to use that data. So one of the things that we realized was access to equipment. So most of our girls have access to mobile phones and they are feature phones. So when we're thinking about ways of reaching out to them when they leave our workshop, we think, how can we build apps that are more compatible for feature phones? Or how can we ensure that we create a space where they can have access to other technologies? And so from all this feedback and sort of measuring our metrics and making sure that we're staying on point in terms of our sustainability and impact, we decided that the best way to really make a change was to start a school. So I'm proud to say that we have started the first all-girls coding and human-centered design academy called the Sonko Academy, where we're going to teach a different group. So we're going to teach girls, we're going to teach women that have completed university or are looking for new skills because unemployment is a huge problem. We're also going to reach out to women SME owners, small and medium scale enterprise owners who want to learn how to use technology for their business. So it's really going to be a safe space for female empowerment and for the use of technology. And all this came from the fact that we were keeping our measurements and our metrics on our success and our impact, getting the right feedback to understand that this is where we needed to go in order to sustain the impact of the work that we're doing. So it's been a process and we have learned from that. But the technology allows us, for me as the founder and leader, to get a bird's eye view of what is happening in the different regions. So TechNeeds Girls has been to 8 regions and every experience is different. But when we collate the data and using technology, I'm able to see a graph or a trend that's forming. So I'm able to sort of stay ahead of the curve to predict what is our next move going to be and how that is going to impact on our overall work that we're doing. So technology and social enterprise, I think, work hand in hand because it allows you to, number one, be able to create a movement. Number 2, to be able to sustain the impact of the work that you're doing. Number 3, to be able to scale. This year we scaled to Burkina Faso, and it's the technology that keeps us connected. So first there was an offline connection where we had a trainer go and train trainers in Burkina Faso, and now we have an online connection where there's access to our curriculum for that to continue to happen. So technology really has been a great tool to help us in sort of shaping the work that we're doing and making sure that we're doing it well and doing it in a more sustainable way. So I hope you enjoyed my presentation. I'm sure it's going to be a great, hack session, and you'll get to meet the other amazing change leaders that are there. I'm so sad I couldn't make it, but if there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. And you can all check out www.sonkoacademy.com to find out the really cool and new coding school for girls in Accra, Ghana. Thank you.